Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sharon Lead, and I am the Executive Director for External Affairs at One Brooklyn Health. And today I'm excited to talk about our Black History series, which is going to be touching on the disparities in the Black community in purchasing homes. And today we have two great people that are going to be talking about real estate as well as mortgage and a program that they're working with, which is called Homes for Heroes. And today I would like to introduce Miss Barbara Douglas Robinson and Mr. Caffrey Hines. How are you guys doing?
Hi there. We are doing fine. Hi, Sharon.
That's
Hi,
great.
everyone.
That's great. So before we jump into your presentation, which is amazing, Barbara Caffrey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'll start first. My name is Barbara Douglas Robinson. I am a Homes for Heroes specialist and also an associate broker with EMT Realty. I've been doing that for over 20 years, working as a realtor. The reason why I gotten into being a real estate person per se, because I want to see the people in our community. I want them to be able to own their own homes. So we want to educate the people in our community. And that's one of my main reasons.
Okay,
We all
great.
should have something.
Great. And Caffrey?
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Caffrey Hines. I'm with United Mortgage, and I've been a loan officer for the past 8 years. And the reason why I got into the industry was because, like everybody, we go to work, we want to make money. So I became a loan officer. But as the years went on and, I started to see the disparities in our Black community, I became and grew more passionate to what I was doing. And that's just to help the people and to teach and to educate. So that's what I'm doing now. And I love what I do.
Okay, great. Well, I know everyone that is watching is excited to learn more about what you guys are going to be talking about. Purchasing homes, we're talking about heroes, so it's in the healthcare industry. So I know I'm excited to hear more about this and what advantages and what opportunities we have to learn about Homes for Heroes. So I'm going to jump off camera. I'm going to leave this up to you guys with your presentation. And, thank you again for taking the time to be part of the OBH Black History series for this year.
Thank you.
Having us.
Okay, great.
All right, so I'm presenting now. So Homes for Heroes presents a guide to first-time home buying. Our presenters today, like Sharon said, it's going to be Barbara Douglas Robinson, who's a Homes for Heroes specialist, and she's also a real estate associate broker, and myself, Caffrey Hines, who is a senior loan officer. So what we have on our agenda today, we're going to be speaking about Homes for Heroes. We're going to be talking about the disparity in America. We're going to talk about some myths about home buying. We'll touch on the key players in the real estate market and also a guide to purchasing a home. Hey, Barbara.
Hello. Homes for Heroes was established right after 9/11, after that tragic event. What Homes for Hero does, Homes for Hero, it's a non-for-profit organization where we honor and give back to our heroes. Our heroes are such as in the health field, firefighters, law enforcement, military and veterans, teachers and educators, clergy person, plus many more. It's one of the largest nationwide network of affiliates, including real estate, mortgage, and local businesses specialists. Since Home for Heroes started, we have helped over 65,000 heroes, saving over $127 million. What we do, we give back 25% of our earnings goes right back to heroes. Part of that donation goes to our Homes for Heroes Foundation. We are here to serve you, and I'm happy to be here to serve you. We truly, truly appreciate all our heroes. If you know anyone who's also a hero before, we also would like to help them. We can help them.
Okay. Thank you, Barbara, for touching on Homes for Heroes, which is a wonderful program to give back to our heroes in America. Now, I want to talk to you all about the disparity in America when it comes to home ownership. Historically, Black Americans and other minority groups own less homes in America than white non-Hispanic Americans. This dates back to the early 1930s, where it started. Black Americans were systematically prevented from acquiring loans and purchasing homes in certain areas and faced discriminatory practices such as redlining, which is literally taking like a red line and drawing it on the street. Like, let's say, if for example, if the street was county line, anybody who lived north of county line, if you were Black, you weren't able to purchase a home in north of county line if you were a Black American. And what that did was it contributed to the large racial wealth gap that we have between the groups. Now, if someone was purchasing a home, let's say for $10,000 back in the 1930s, and now that home is worth $1 million, $2 million, that increased that family's net worth that much money. Now, Black people back in the 1930s and the 40s and the 50s and so on till today were being redlined, where you weren't able to purchase those homes and you only could purchase in certain areas. So your appraisal value, the value of your home wasn't as great as certain areas where there were less than 1% Black people living in that neighborhood. So that contributed to the large racial wealth gap that we have in America today. For example, the white American median household net worth is north of $250,000. The Black American median household net worth is an estimated $44,000. And according to the Brookings Institute of Black neighborhoods are often undervalued by $48,000 compared to neighborhoods where less than 1% of Black residents, well, less than 1% of the residents are Black. Now, if you take that 48,000 and you do that across America, we're talking about losses accumulating to about $156 billion. And redlining still exists today. Now, there are laws in place to help prevent it or to eventually eliminate it, but it's still continuing today. Now, in the Bible, it says in Hosea 4:6, it tells us, "My people perish because of the lack of knowledge." Now, the reason why, despite the discriminatory practices that Black people have faced from since the beginning of times, there's also the lack of knowledge when it comes to buying a home or purchasing a home. So that leads us to home buying myths. One of the myths that you might hear about is you need 20% to put down to purchase a home. That is false. They have loans programs such as FHA, USDA, conventional loans, and VA loans. FHA actually allows you to put down as little as 3.5% down. Conventional, you could put down as little as 3% down. And then there's VA loans that if the veteran, if that's a VA loan is for veterans and you could put down as little as $0. to put down on a home. So you could get 100% financing if you're eligible, if you're a VA, a veteran. Another myth that we may have is finding a home is the first step. That is false. That's counterproductive, because you have to think about it like this. If you find a home, let's say you go on Zillow, you're interested in purchasing a home, and you find a home that you love. You see it, you're like, this is my home. I want that home. Let's say, for example, that home costs $700,000. Without you being pre-approved, you may not qualify for that home. So now, not would you be wasting your own time, but then you're wasting the realtor's time, the selling agent's time, because you don't qualify for that home. So it's important that you get a pre-approval first. And I'll speak about a pre-approval and what that process is later on in the presentation. Another myth is you shouldn't buy until you find your forever home. And that's a big one, because sometimes you'll see a starter home and you're like, no, that's not the home for me. Like, when I envisioned being a homeowner, I want a home like how my parents had, or I want a home like my cousin or my friend had. But everybody's unique situation is different. So you have to buy where you can afford. So sometimes it might not be your forever home, like I said, but it's a building step, a process to get to that forever home that you're looking for. The fourth myth, that's a big one, is you need to have a perfect credit score to purchase a home. You really don't need to have a perfect 740 plus credit score or 800 credit score to purchase a home. You could purchase a home with a credit score as low as 580. Do I suggest it to be a 580? No. The higher your credit score, the better your interest rate's going to be. So I always tell my clients, at least get to a 600 credit score or better, and that way you could take advantage of where the current market interest rates are to get the best interest rates for yourself and your family. Another myth that we have is, well, I can't purchase a home because I have student loans, which isn't true. Your student loans, it would just become a part of your DTI, which is your debt to income ratio. And I'll speak more about the DTIs and what a debt to income ratio is later on in the presentation as well. Another myth that we have is maybe you should wait until the interest rates go down before you buy. Or maybe I should wait for the prices to go down before I buy. Which is it's very risky if you're waiting for prices to go down or interest rates to go down. Because depending on the market, the interest rates may not go down to what you're hoping that they would go down to, and then you're going to be waiting to purchase a home forever. Or if you're waiting for prices to go down, and the longer you're waiting, let's say you've seen a home for $400,000 that you like, but you wait till that price goes down to maybe $350 or $300. 2 years pass, 3 years pass, and now that same $400,000 home is worth $525,000 now. So now you're going to wind up paying more for that home that you wanted because you were waiting for the price to go down. So one thing that I live by, this rule of thumb, is don't wait to buy real estate and wait. Another thing that's very risky is when people say, another myth is fall and winter are bad times to purchase. I would have to disagree with that, because there's less competition in the fall and winter to buy. So with less competitions means better negotiations for you on your behalf when you're talking to sellers and listing agents. Because now, since there's less buyers, now you could offer less and maybe save some money on the home. And one thing to remember, all lenders and realtors are not the same. So just because you have a title as a loan officer or a realtor or a broker does not mean that you're going to receive the same service, or that person has the same knowledge as somebody else who has the same title as them. So it is a good thing to shop around for your loan officer and your realtor and somebody who's going to have your best interest at hand. Now, I want to talk about some key players in the real estate market. So, as discussed, a loan officer like myself, that's somebody who's going to help you get your pre approval and also get you financing for your home. We have processor, excuse me, a processor's job is basically the middleman between a loan officer and the underwriter to help keep your file moving forward. So they communicate between the underwriter and the loan officer. So, and who the underwriter is, that's who approves your loan. It says that you qualify for this amount, and the bank will lend this money after going through your credit, your income, and your assets. So that's the underwriter's job. So they're very important to the process. And Barbara, you can speak about the buyer's agent.
A buyer's agent, that's the person working with the buyer. So we are the one, or the buyer agent is the one who will negotiate the price for you. We are the go-between of the selling agent, listing agent, and the seller. We have the listing agent. The listing agent is the one working for the seller. And I think many people get this, they mix this up because they always want to go to the listing agent to purchase their home. When you go to the listing agent or the selling agent, that's the person there. As I said, they are working for the seller. So they are looking for the highest price for the seller. So we always try to tell people, if we are working with you as a buyer, you should have a buyer's agent who will work for you and try to get you the lowest price possible.
Barbara, question: is it important? Like, do you have to sign a contract as a buyer if you're working with a buyer's agent, or could you work with as much agents as you want to?
Now, you need to sign a contract with the buyer's agent because they are working for you. If not, we will have to work for the seller. So although you come to me to say, Barbara, I want you to help me to purchase a home, I am still working for the seller unless we sign a buyer's agent agreement. Otherwise, we have to look out for the seller to get the highest price for the seller.
Understood.
So I recommend that you use a buyer's agent to help you in the process.
And another question: if I'm looking to list my home, I'm already a homeowner and I want to list my home. Is it do I is it the same process as with the buyer's agent? Do I sign a contract?
Oh yes, because it's a listing agreement. I will have to sign. The seller will sign a listing agreement with the agent. It's completely different, but you're signing both sides. You're signing a contract or an
Got it.
agreement.
Real estate attorney.
The real, the real estate attorney is the person. If you're a buyer, the real estate attorney is representing you. They're the one who will be going through the contract after you your offer is accepted. Then it's sent to the real estate attorney, and they will be the one checking everything to make sure everything is in place and you're not getting robbed. And they will also explain the process.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Title company.
Title company, they're the one who will be checking both the sellers and buyers to make sure everything they name, that there's no lien judgment or anything on that person's name. So they check everything, owners on the properties, to make sure they do not have any judgment, that you're not going into something where there's already liens or judgments on the property or on your name.
Okay. And then who's the home appraiser?
Well, he's a biggie. Our home appraiser, he's the one that comes in after the offer is accepted, everything is to the bank, the approval to the bank, then they will send out an home appraiser who will come to appraise the home that you're trying to purchase to make sure it's appraised for the value that you offer. So for instance, if you offer 500,000. When the appraiser comes out and that home is appraised for 450, then now we have to go back and negotiate, because the bank is not going to offer a loan for a lower price and you offer a higher price. So that's where a buyer's agent will come in now to also negotiate for you.
Okay. And then home inspector.
Okay, the home inspector, he's the one. Okay, you make an offer, they accept your offer. Then we go, the next stage is your home inspector. The home inspector will be the one that the buyer hires to do an inspection of the home, to make sure the homes, there's a few things. When we first make the offer, our eyes, we just see certain things. But there are things that the home inspector can see that we cannot see with our own eyes. So he will be the one coming in and saying, now he's looking for anything safety issues. He will check the plumbing. He will check the electrical to make sure everything is up to par. He will check the foundation of the property. He's the one who will check to see if everything is safety wise, it's good for you. So he will be the one also to tell us things that we did not see, to help to negotiate your the price of the home for you. And we are there every step of the way. We are there when the home inspector is there. We are there when the home appraiser is there. So we are always there with you and letting you know every step in processing the home.
Awesome sauce. Awesome. And for homeowners insurance agent, it's basically just to get your homeowner's insurance. So even when let's say you paid your mortgage off and you own your home outright, there's still costs that attach to that home, which is homeowner's insurance and property taxes. Those are two things that you're always going to be paying, even once you pay your mortgage off. And your homeowner's insurance, that protects you if anything's happened to your home, that your home would be covered. So it's a little bit different than mortgage insurance, and I'll explain the differences later on in our presentation. The next key player is the mortgage servicer. So after you close on your home, and your mortgage servicer is who you will be making your payments to monthly. So you can ask them any questions about escrow account, and your escrow account is just an account where once you make your mortgage payment, a certain portion, which is your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance, will be taken from there, and it goes into what's called an escrow account. So whenever, at whatever point in the year your taxes are due, property taxes are due, or your homeowner's insurance, it automatically gets pulled from your escrow account. And every time that you make another mortgage payment, that escrow account is just being replenished. So that way you never default on missing your property tax payments or your homeowner's insurance. So those two things are very important. So that's why escrow accounts were established, to help protect the buyers. And another key person in the real estate market is a credit repair specialist. So now, having a good credit repair person that's reputable is important to have in your team in the real estate market, because sometimes you may need some extra points to qualify for a home, and a credit repair specialist can dissect your credit report and see exactly where to help you and help you to build your credit, and also not just to build your credit or to repair your credit as well. So having a credit repair specialist is super important to have in the real estate market. And
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, ladies first.
No, you finish yourself, because I just wanted to mention a little bit more about Homes for Heroes.
Okay. No, I'm good.
Okay. Homes for Heroes. You can benefit from Homes for Heroes if you're purchasing a home or you're selling a home. If you're doing both transactions, purchasing and selling your home, you will receive at least 50% back of commission or rewards given back to you. So that's 25% from buying and 25% from selling your home, which is a great thing, because where would you go to get money back after you close on your home? If you know of any place, please let me know, because Homes for Heroes is the only organization that offer that service where you will receive that money after you close on your home or you sell your home.
Awesome. Okay. So here's a quick little guide here. You see this Monopoly looking board here. This is a guide to purchasing a home. So one of the major things you want to start doing if you're thinking about purchasing a home is start saving money for a down payment and closing costs. Now, you may not know how much you need to save, but if you're just getting into the idea of like, hey, maybe I want to purchase a home within the next year or two or this year, then something that you really want to do is start saving money for your down payment and closing costs. Another thing, you want to check your credit score. Make sure you know an idea where your credit is. Because if you have a 450 credit score, then you're going to need to do some work with your credit before you can even attempt to purchase a home at this point. So you just want to always be on top of your credit score, have a good idea where your score is. And if you do have a compromised credit score or a lower credit score, then you want to connect yourself with a credit repair specialist who can help you raise your score and repair and build your score as well. So that way, when you do go to a loan officer like myself, then it wouldn't be like you're starting from scratch. You already took the initiative to start working on your credit score, and you'll be able to purchase in the near future. So after you find a loan officer, the next step is to get pre-approved. So this is just a quick little guide or process to how the home purchase process works. So the first step is after, let's say you started saving some money, you checked your credit score, you know you're above a 600 credit score, you find the loan officer. The loan officer will pre-approve you. After you get pre-approved, then you would find a home. Well, how would you find a home? Well, after you get pre-approved, then you would get connected with a realtor, and then that realtor will assess your wants and needs and then help you find the perfect home that fits your lifestyle and your budget. After you find a home, you'll go ahead and make an offer. You'll make an offer on a home. Not just because you made an offer doesn't mean the home you're going to get an accepted offer. But once you do get an accepted offer, you'll sign the binder and then you'll schedule an inspection. As Barbara explained to us, the inspection, having a home inspector that will go and look and inspect the property for you for the things that we can't see with the naked eye. After your inspection, then we go into the application process. So you'll submit any documents that the lender is requesting. You know, it could be W-2s, 2-year W-2s, 30-day pay stubs, 2-year tax returns. If you receive Social Security income, it could be a Social Security award letter. If you're retired, maybe pension, disability, any type of income that you're receiving, it just has to be documented. So those are the documents that the loan officer will start requesting once you're in contract now. Then from contract, you go over, you review and sign your contract with your real estate attorney, make sure everything looks good there. Then we would order the appraisal. Once the appraisal's ordered, it could take a week. Sometimes it takes more. Just depends on how backed up the appraisal companies are. But then they would do an appraisal inspection, and then that will determine the value of what the home that you're looking to purchase is worth. So just because a seller might be asking, let's say a seller's asking for 500,000 for this home, the home may only appraise for 440. So now if you put in an offer for 500,000 and that home is only worth 440, there's a $60,000 gap there, difference that has to be made up. And either the seller would have to come down on their price or the buyer is going to have to put more money down to bridge that gap. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. So appraisals are super important. So after the appraisal's ordered, now your file is processing. So that's where the underwriter is going to review your file, and then they're going to come up with the term called conditions. Conditions are any additional documentation aside from what that you already provided for the pre-approval that the underwriter needs to see and review before they approve your loan. So your processor is a good communication between the underwriter and the loan officer to let you know exactly what your conditions are and how to provide them. Once the appraisal report comes back, that's usually during the time that your file's in processing. It'll let you know, let's say everything holds well, your home appraised for 500,000, you put in an offer for 500,000, that's good. We talked about underwriting already. Now, the underwriter is going to issue what's called a commitment letter. After you submit all your outstanding closing condition items for the commitment letter prior to the final clearance for the home loan approval. You'll also receive what's called a title report. Your real estate attorney will help you with your title and shopping for a title agent. And then your attorney will submit the title report to the bank attorney for review and clearance. So once the title report is generated, the realtor, no, not the realtor, excuse me, your attorney will submit that title report to the bank. The bank attorney will review that title, make sure everything looks good there. You're not buying a home with any liens or judgments, etc., and that you have a clean title report. So that's huge as well. That's very important. Now we're getting close to the final and to the ending. We're getting ready to close. So you want to order your homeowner's insurance policy. So that's why it's good to have that homeowner's insurance agent to work with you. Now, some people, they combine their homeowner's insurance policy with their car insurance for savings. But it's also a good thing to shop around for homeowner's insurance because just because you could combine it with your car insurance doesn't mean that you're going to get the best rate or policy there. So you want to shop around, 3 or 4 different homeowners insurance agents and make sure you're getting the best deal out there for your budget. Now you start hearing these words, clear to close. Once you're clear to close, you and your attorney will be notified that your file is clear to close and a closing date is scheduled by your attorney with the bank attorney. So once you hear those words clear to close, that means an underwriter reviewed your loan is approved, and it's clear to close. Now you can start scheduling your closing date, and you're on your way to being a homeowner. On the closing day, they usually do what's called a final walkthrough. So you as the borrower or the buyer, you would do a final walkthrough of the property to approve the condition of the house prior to signing any closing documents. Now, once you do your final walkthrough, then you will go to the closing table, and at the closing table, all parties will sign closing documents with the bank attorney. And then once everything is signed and finalized, congratulations, you are now a homeowner. And then, you deal with the post-closing. You start enjoying tax advantages of owning a home. You can apply for the STAR program. It helps you save money on your property taxes. And now you're an official homeowner and you could start building equity in your home when you move in. Okay.
I would like to add, if you're thinking right now of purchasing a home, there are a few things we would like you not to do. Do not quit your job, please. Do not go and open credit cards or co-sign for anyone, because that is not going to help you. So those are some things we would like to tell you. Don't quit your job. Don't open any other credit cards if you're thinking of purchasing your home. Try not to be late on your bills. Pay them on time. Try to bring down the balances. And also, I just want you to know that we are in a seller's market right now. And what that means is if you're trying to buy a home, it's the sellers, there are so many buyers, but not many inventory or homes out there. So you do not have that chance to say, okay, I'm going to try to pull down the seller 100,000 off of their selling price. It is not going to happen, because for that one home, there may be 100 people who are putting an offer on that home. So that's why you have to come with your down payment, your credit, and everything has to be in place. So we are just telling you, if you're planning to buy your home, those are some of the things, please take it seriously. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Barbara.
You're welcome.
All right. So I know you might have heard me use the term pre-approval or pre-approved. So what is a pre-approval, you might ask yourself? All a pre-approval is a statement from a lender which shows how much money that you're able to borrow. And we base your pre-approval amount on your credit, your income, and your assets. A good way to remember that is by the acronym CIA. So again, that's your credit, your income, and your assets. Also, what's important to your pre-approval is your DTI, your debt to income ratio. And your pre-approval will also help you negotiate with sellers, and it proves that you have the funds and qualifications to buy their home. So for example, I want to talk about an example how the process will work. Like, let's say if you were looking to purchase a home. So I'm going to give you guys an example. Let's say your credit score is a 622 and your minimum monthly debts total $1,000 a month. So that could be your student loan payment, for example, is $300 a month. Your car payment is $500 a month, and your credit cards are $200 a month. Excuse me. So in total, that would be $1,000. So remember that number. 1,000 is your minimal monthly debt. Your income in this example is $115,000 yearly, which breaks down to $9,583.33 monthly. Your assets, you have $50,000 in your savings account, and then you have $30,000 in your checkings account. So the purchase price in this example is $550,000. A down payment on this type of home, let's say if we're looking at an FHA loan, would be 3.5% minimal down, which would be of the purchase price, which would be $19,250 down. Closing costs is typically about 6% of the loan amount, and that would run you about maybe $31,845. So let's say about $32,000. So all in, you're at about $52,000 to close, estimated. So that's between your down payment and your closing costs. You would need about $52,000 to purchase a home that's $550,000. Now, your total mortgage payment, you can remember your total mortgage payment by this acronym here. You guys may want to write this down, is your PITI, your PITI, which consists of your principal and interest, So in this example, give or take, would be about $3,025. Your homeowner's insurance, which you shop for, but let's just say it's $150. And the property taxes for the year are 5,000. You divide that by 12 to break it down monthly, which would be $416.67. And then your mortgage insurance, which would be $225. So once you add up your principal and interest, your homeowner's insurance, your property taxes, and your mortgage insurance, that's your total mortgage payment, which is your PITI, your PITI. And in this example, that would be $3,816.67. So now this takes us back to our DTI, your debt to income ratio, which consists of two parts. You have your front end, which is your total mortgage payment divided by your monthly income. And then you have your back end, which is your total mortgage payment plus minimum monthly debts divided by your monthly income. So a front end example would be your total mortgage payment, which is the $3,816, divided by your monthly income, which is $9,583. And then that equals 39.8. So that would be your front end. And in most loan programs, your front end cannot exceed 44.9. So in this example, your front end is clear, you're good. But now we have to also keep in mind your back end ratio, which is your total mortgage payment plus your minimum monthly debts divided by your monthly income. In this example, your total mortgage payment of $3,816 plus your minimum monthly debt, which is $1,000, and that totals to $4,816. Now we're going to go ahead and take $4,816 and divide by your monthly income, which is 9,583, and that equals 50.3. So your debt to income ratio is 39.8 over 50.3, which means that you qualify for this home. You're under the DTI limit for the FHA program. Now, keep in mind, debt to income ratios can vary from different programs and different lenders. So, one lender's DTI limit may be higher or can be lower than another lender's DTI limit. So, that's something that you want to talk to your loan officer about. Now, we get back to the fun part. You're all pre approved, your DTIs, your ratios work out. Now it's the fun part where you get to connect with the realtor and go shopping for your home. Barbara, you can take over.
Okay, I'm the person you will come to after all this is done. I know that was a lot of information. So, so what we do is, as realtor, we will take you out. We will sit down with you to see what your needs are and your wants, and then we will go and start looking for that home for whatever you were pre-approved for. So it may be a 2-bedroom, 3 bedrooms, but I just want people to know that you may have a friend who has the same type of house and their rooms look bigger, larger, and you want that same thing. So they're looking for that same large room. But many times people may knock a wall down and a lot of things changes. So you cannot go to get whatever you see your friend has. Everyone's situation is different. So as I said, we are in a seller's market. So there's a lot of things we have to look for, things we may say that, okay, we can live without, but we will be the one to take you out to see that house in the neighborhood you're looking for. But everything goes with your pre-approval, what you can afford for that home. We will be there with the home inspector, the appraiser. We are there all the way with you to continue to educate you even until after you purchase your home. So it's very important to have that buyer agent with you to do all those things with you. You may think you can do it by yourself, but it's not that simple. think that's basically, I know as Caffrey went through a whole list of things, and I know it went over a lot of people's head, but we are available for one-on-one consultation. So you can always reach us. And our phone numbers are right there. Mine is 516-304-0909, Caffrey 631-372-8276. And we also have Earl Timmerman, who was unable to be with us today. His phone number is 347-234-6415. Homes for Hero website is homesforheroes.com. Homesforheroes.com. I just want to thank everyone for being here with us. Thanks again, Sharon.
And thank you for all your service. And we look forward to serving you now. You know, as a healthcare professional, you deserve it.
Yes, you do.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you so much, Caffrey. I just have two questions. And I know if anyone else has any questions, please, by all means, send your questions to communityaffairs@bhmc.org. We will make sure we get those questions over to Barbara and to Caffrey. But I have a question. In terms of that you mentioned, like, this program is for home buyers. Is it only for first time home buyers, or is it for someone who is looking for a second home, an investment, a vacation home? Are there any specifics for this particular program?
Absolutely not. You can purchase 10 homes, you will get that same service, you will get that same rewards.
Okay. Another question, and I know you mentioned it in the beginning, but I just want to get a little bit more clarity. Just explain the difference between, someone just going out and doing this on their own as per for, being part of Homes for Heroes. What is I want to say the special sauce in terms of us being a part of this program?
Okay, because if you go with someone who is not a Homes for Heroes specialist, when you purchase that home, that's it. You're not getting anything back. But with a Homes for Heroes specialist, if you come with us, you will get, as I said, 25% of the commission back to you after you close on your home. So that's a benefit you're getting there.
Mhm.
I don't know where else you would get a benefit, 25% after you close on a home. Normally you are paying your money to buy a home and never receive anything back. But with Homes for Heroes, you are receiving something back, 25% of that commission you're
And
getting
I know
back.
that 25% will help out,
Oh,
especially
it
if you
will.
are putting it, it helps out a lot. And I know also when we spoke previously to this, and that's why I wanted to bring this, to the organization, is I know that you actually walk someone through step by step, so they're not doing anything on their own.
No,
They
absolutely.
literally have you as an advocate, as a strong supporter, that
Yes.
they can ask you questions. You're helping them out to make sure that everything is done properly. So it's a step-by-step support system that what you have once they're part of this program, correct?
Absolutely. And we are available 7 days a week.
Okay.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that, because in the healthcare industry, we're working 7 days a week, so our
Exactly.
day off may be on an off day, maybe a Sunday, maybe a day that people are usually not doing any or not working. So I appreciate that you indicated that you are 7 days a week, that you are here to assist. So again, if anyone is interested, please, by all means, you can either you could go to the website, but we would prefer for you, so you can go to the website and do some more history, do some more research on Homes for Heroes for the program. If you are interested or you have any questions, please send your questions to communityaffairs@bhmcny.org. We are also going to arrange for Barbara and Kafra to come to each campus to set up and have a conversation with anyone who wants to start their process with them, and you just have more questions that you want to get face to face with. So again, I appreciate everyone for taking the time to listen out to our Lunch and Learn Black History series at OBH. And Barbara Cafford, thank you so much for taking the time to educate us on this program. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know about it, so I'm really, really excited for those that are interested to take advantage of this program. Once again, thank you, everybody. I'll see you at the next
Thank you so
Lunch
much.
and Learn, which will be on finance. And so this literally fits right in, saving, getting your finances together, then getting your home. Talk to you
Yes.
later.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.